Hello everybody. I just wanted to show you a quick video to explain how ALEKS is going to work and how this math course is going to look like. So you still have a course player. This is when you enter the system and you actually enter the class. You'll come to this first page, and some of you guys, it may be a different class, Algebra 1A, but this is just an example. So what you do is, obviously, you first click on Lesson 1. Now, on Lesson 1, there'll be different things in it. They'll have different activities, okay? In this case, Activity 1 is the Online Learning Center, and it has a little, page where you fill out a thing, and then it says, work on your Online Learning Center. Well, that's how you get to your ALEKS, is when you click here, this is how you get to ALEKS, but we'll get to that in a minute, okay? So really, you can see all I have to do is scroll through that, and then I'm done with that Activity 1. And it'll give a check mark on your guys's that you're done with Activity 1. Then you look on the virtual classroom. This kind of tells you in general what your times are going to be. They're not always exact, and I'll send out a message each day reminding you of when they are. But this tells you this. But again, there's nothing for you to submit. So all you have to do is scroll down through here, and then you get to your discussion. Now, this is your first thing where it will not let you go on until you actually do something. So then, on this one, you will have to actually, I can't do it, but you will have to comment in there. Real quick with the discussions, again, answer all parts of the question. You can see right here, there's 4 parts of the question. So answer each part, and then when you're done, make sure you got all the parts answered, and then you submit it. And then if you don't get your full points, I'll usually message you back saying, hey, or I'll put a comment underneath, and if you don't get your full 50 points, then you will always comment again and earn back your points. So that's with the that's the discussions. And once you're done with that, it'll let you move on, and then you get another check mark, and then you'll see lesson summary. So then you can go down to next lesson, and it's that simple. So there's not a lot you have to do, but you do need to go through one lesson a day. So you would go through that. So if this is day 2, I would go here, and I'd go through, scroll through, and you can see I have another discussion. So I would have to do this discussion first, and then I could go. Day 3, okay, this is where it's a little different. On this one, when we start scrolling it, it has a project. So in here, you're going to have to open your project. You'll view it, okay? And then I'm not going to scroll all the way down because then you can see the answers. But basically, it'll give you like a couple things a day, and then you have to attempt your project, and then it won't let you submit it until you get to the last lesson, lesson 5. You can't just go in through here and then say save. It'll only have a save and exit button. It won't give you a submit. So you have to actually go through lesson 5 in order to submit your project, but that's already after you're done lesson 4 and 3, and then it'll let you submit it once you go through lesson 5. And I always give you feedback if you don't get your full points on that. Okay, so you want to do a lesson a day. That's very important in the system. Second thing you want to do, as we pointed out, was the Online Learning Center, and this is where you spend most of your time, because you can see the lessons aren't very big. Most of your work is done in this Online Learning Center, so you can either click here on pop-out window. You can click, here on the pop-out window. You can kind of see it at the very edge, or you can click here and open in a new window. So I'll click on that. Now, it won't let me actually do that because it's not linked to any, this is not my actual class, but it'll take you. If you get an error code, just let me know and I'll make sure that it's fixed. But then it should take you to something like this. Now, it will take you first to, you will have to do an exam, and then just an initial assessment, and then it'll ask you to type in a couple things, and then it'll say question 1, 2, whatever, and that'll just help you to figure out where you are, where you are in the class, like how much of the topics do you already know. And so anything you know, it won't make you redo again when you do the modules. So then you come into here, and this is, if you notice, you want to be in, you don't want to be in this view where it says like this, where it says 14 of 104 14 topics completed, and it has a lot of different colors. You want to do switch to the objective pie view, because here is where you're going to do most of your modules, okay? Basically what a module is, it's made up of topics. So when you click here, you click on a topic, and you're going to actually complete a topic. So let me do combining like terms. So you'll click on this. This is what I mean by a topic, by mastering a topic. So you go 5 minus 12u. Okay, well 5 minus 12 is 7. So we'll put 7u. And since it was 5 minus 12, it's going to be a negative 7u. So if you didn't know, you could hit explain, and that would tell you how to do it. If not, you hit next, and then you get the answer correct, then it'll give you another problem. Usually you have to do that 3 times in a row for it to be counted as correct. So this one would be negative 12 u, and then we'll put to the second power. So once you get that answer correct, hit next, and then it'll say good job. And then if you do it again 3 times in a row, if you have to do a couple of explains or you get something wrong, it'll tell you. It might make you do more problems. But see, like, let's say I mess up on a problem. Let's say I say, okay, 11c, oh, okay, so I'm going to say c minus 4. It'll tell you, hey, you did something wrong. Your answer's incorrect. It won't tell you in specifics, but it will. Okay, if you end up correcting it, answer should be negative 4. It'll say good job. And then it'll usually make you do another practice problem, okay? And then again, if you need help, you can always hit the explain button. Finally, we'll do it one more time, negative 14c. And then it'll say, good, you're done. You can either practice more or be done. So if you saw from the original, it said 11 out of 22, and it had 50%. Well, this time it's saying 12 out of 22, so I mastered one more topic. So I want to do 4 or 5 of those topics a day. So I'd sit down, that was 1, now I had to do 3 or 4 more in order to finish a day. Every day you should do 4 or 5 topics. And we have these things called modules. There's going to be 6 of them. You want to do 1 module a week, and that just means about, you can see that this module is 22 topics. You don't have to do all 22. You have to do at least 18 or 19 of those. But at least if you complete those, then you will be able to move on, okay? But you want to do 1 of those a week, so that's why we want to do 4 or 5 topics a day, so that you complete one of those modules, one of those chapters, if you would want to call it, a week. So whenever you see the word module, that's an ALEKS. And whenever you see a topic, that's an ALEKS. When I say lessons, okay, you need to complete 1 lesson a day. That's in here. That's the actual course player. Okay? The final thing is when you need to take an exam, so let's say we actually get to 30, it'll say 80% or more. It'll say, good, you can move on to the next one. You'll message me for the password. Okay? You'll say, hey, Mr. Trent, I finished Module 1. Can I please have the password? And then I'll give you the password, and what you'll do is you'll click up here in this assignment tab right here. You'll click on this, and it'll give you all the different things you can choose from. So you click, oh, okay, yeah, I want to do exam 1. So I do exam 1, and then what I do is once I get that password, I do that and then hit next. And then every time you need to do exam 1, so like if you exit out for some reason, you can always go back and put the password in again, and it'll start you from where you were in exam 1. You don't have to sit it and finish it in exactly 1 sitting. So then, and then you would finish that, and then you get an exam score. And the cool thing is when you're done with your exam, now this one I haven't done an exam on, but when I'm done with an exam, and this assignment results instead of just assignments, I can actually look at one of the exams and it'll show me every single problem I missed. So if you have questions from the questions you missed, you can always ask me and we can go over the ones that you missed, okay? And it'll also tell you your score, like you got a 75% or a 45 or whatever the percentage is. So really, that's the main thing, and then when you're done, you can just hit done to get out of there. But really, you want to do 4 or 5 topics a day. That's really important. And then that'll be 1 module a week once you finish all those topics in a module. All right, hopefully this helps.